Hey everybody, this is Rydo and we're back to another recording of LEGO City Undercover. Let's continue. So we're still in the Auburn area. Basically there's no good reason to leave until we've gotten everything. In fact, there's a pretty good reason to stay and see if we can get 100% of everything in this area. Because if there is some sort of admission once you have 100% of an area, I guess we've gotten other 100% of areas though, so I don't know what I'm saying here, really. Because I was thinking for a second, I'll just let my thoughts be known, that maybe we would get studs falling from the sky or some kind of indication that an area was completely done. But now that I think about it, the bridge areas have been 100% done. The other areas have been 100% done. So it's not like this would be the first one by far. But on the other hand, if we are in a position where we can say we know for a fact that this is not the right way, that there absolutely is nothing in this general direction, and we can say that for an entire section of the map of the entire open world, that's fine. That still saves us some frustration. We've got about 70% of this area done right now. There is one section that I think in particular is going to be a little bit questionable. Let's see. So I'll want to be a little careful about that. Come up here. 6. And we gotta change to the guy here. Teleport over in the middle of this race. And then switch back to this guy. And sometimes when you do this, it ends you wherever you're standing, and sometimes when you do these things, it ends you in a very specific spot. It doesn't seem like there's a lot of reason or rhyme to it. It's probably a mistake to have the cats be black. Like, a black cat does generally, I think, signify bad luck to most cultures that would believe in that, and on a more simplistic level and just straightforward level, if it was a white cat, a gray cat, a spotted cat, it would just stand out in the background a little bit easier instead of being.
Just one more day until my holiday.
So we've got a super perk here. Over that way we've got a police thing. Over here we've got a police thing. In this general direction I don't think there's anything left. We know that there's a couple of things still. Let's see. We may... Like, I don't know if there's a great justification to go to a different area and not try and 100% this. Just run here. Run around. Run around here. Alright, we've gone full circle. Alright, let's see if this teleports us over there. Yeah. So before we activate this thing, alright, we see that there is several things over here. So maybe if I get up to that and up to that, then maybe I could somehow make it to the crane. So a portion of the bridge is still there, and way up there we have this disguise token, but this whole game doesn't make sense. Like, that disguise token that we just scanned, let's come back and look at it. It's floating in the air. It's probably where you want to collect it. It says use this to locate a gang now. Before it said something completely different. So I think it's just buggy.
Excuse me.
Yes, ma'am?
Could you tell me how long the next train will be?
I guess we'll
Certainly.
just listen to all these.
3 carriages. Hi, do you work here?
I do.
Great. Do you know when the last train is?
Of course. I wouldn't be a very good station inspector if I didn't, would I? Deary me, what a silly question.
Okay, remember, you need to get off the train when it reaches Uptown. But don't worry, your Uncle George will be waiting for you there. Now, are you going to be a brave boy and give Mommy a kiss goodbye without crying?
I'm 46, Mother. Now give me my bag lunch and teddy bear.
That's kind of funny. It's really all this boils down to. It's kind of funny.
What? My train left without me? How did that happen?
It happens all the time, buddy.
Not when you're the driver. Come on, Sammy, where you been?
Sorry, I thought we were meeting on the other platform. I almost approached a group of tourists because I thought it was you guys in disguise.
You idiot! Well, now everyone's here, we can head to the beach.
And kick over sandcastles?
You betcha!
Kicking over sandcastles? Not on my watch, you evil hooligans.
So this is a pretty distant area. I'm gonna have to jump. And they've given me a full 2 minutes to get there. Half feels like I should get a car and drive with that much time. Now, what you could have done cool here is, since there is this incidental sound effects of the sirens going off all the time, although in the real world I doubt police ever just start chase after sirens. If they hear them, they would probably call in their dispatch and go, hey, hear sirens, is there somewhere you want me to be to offer aid?
Come on, gang! Let's
But
ruin
for the
some
game
holidays.
itself, if we heard a siren and then that was an indicator, go this way, there's a crime going on right now,
I know my rights.
then
All right, put 'em up. Stop it!
let's see.
I hope I get my old cell again.
Whoa!
I'm out of here.
Stop, please.
Ow! I'm getting a stitch.
Have to wait till he decides to stop talking. There's still 9 of those to go. Honestly, I think we'd be better off going this direction and looking at some of this stuff. That was an example of one of these missions specifically designed to take you in a different direction. they don't really make the most sense until, like, what needs to happen if you were going to have something like that is that they needed I don't think this actually does anything. I think the idea was to land on that. Which how would you even find that? Yeah, it would be nice if the sirens told you that there was a crime going in that direction and thus there was something you were supposed to do in that general direction instead of it just being noise. Otherwise, I'm kind of would have been happier without the noise.
Hey, I get to do another super build now.
This is a different section of the map, but whatever. An entire Lego build house. Like, this is a prime example of what the world should have looked like. Every building should have been like this. At least somewhat looking like it was made out of Legos instead of this, which really just looks like, frankly, a bad asset flip for a Steam game by 2019 standards. I don't want to go too far in this direction, but I can definitely see that there's things. Alright. I think that's enough of that. There was a car theft thing. Here it is, a robber challenge. Let's do that. And then I think the other things we need to do are all potentially on the far other end of the map. Notice how that door, which I screwed up, but notice how that door required the use of 2 abilities. Really no need for that, frankly, considering how every ability is extremely linear. Alright. This is one of the we're stealing the car missions, so it's gonna just have me drive the car around, and now it kind of makes sense that the sirens would be playing, because the sirens are literally indicating that there are police following me, but you don't really get to see them, so this would have been better off if it had unlocked a rear view mirror, at least in these races. Something that specifically showed that somebody was walking away. And yeah, I'm having a hard time telling if the police are just intentionally getting in my way so I crash into them for a little bit more action, which they probably are, or if they're just such bad AI that they're trying to do U-turns on a one-way street.
I didn't see you there.
And we've got a little bit of lag there. Look collecting these SAT tokens for no reason, just running the number up. This is taking me to a whole different area, and see, that was the danger of doing missions like this, is that it will just take you to a whole different area. I don't know if this always takes you to like Chan's garage, or no, it doesn't. I know it doesn't, because we did one of these and we ended up in Auburn in the first place. So yeah, it does seem like it just kind of takes you in different directions. This is a long chase sequence that really has no value anymore, because you're just not gonna fail it. Still not sure what the BTS is. What that logo is supposed to be. I would heavily suspect it's something TT Fusion had a group behind. Like it's a developer group inside of TT Fusion would be my guess. Alright, well, we're here. Let's just see. We are now in, where are we? Fresco. So we might as well just make the use of it and move on. I'll make it slightly less frustrating than trying to get the last little thing available in Auburn. We'll still have to do that, but interesting. Just 3 studs, 3 purple studs is all we got. Which might be an indication that you always only got about 3,000 studs. They just usually broke it down into gold and blue and silver studs. Or it might be an indication that the game has just got your number at this point and realized that you actually don't need any more studs. Honestly, this would be the point where things would... I may have to just take another race. Yeah, I don't see anything else here, so let's just... Regardless of what it is, let's just do it. Whatever we find, we'll go and we'll do, for better or worse. It says there's a time trial race here. I don't see a time trial race there. Let's see. Perhaps there's something that makes that make more sense. Yep, we'll take this one. And again, this might be a vehicle. It lets you even like start driving a little bit. Drive the wrong way on this road, so then I can drive the right way on this road. It really is a catch-22. I didn't want to do these races because I knew they were going to be long, and now I've got a bunch of these races that I need to do, so it's gonna be long. It's gonna be a long string of them. Probably should have diversified a little bit more and done more of the races at a time. but none of it really makes sense. None of this open world gameplay makes sense. LEGO Marvel Superheroes was such a good game by itself that had I just played the story mode and said I'm not even going to involve myself in the open world stuff, I would have been okay with it. Here, because I was not really satisfied with the main story, and then I get left with a bunch of open world missions that aren't particularly well developed. It's just kind of a bad ice cream topping on a bad piece of ice cream. And quite frankly, there's been some games I've covered recently that haven't been that good, but they do have at least the benefit of being extremely short. So if it feels like I wasted my money, it's because of a lack of quality. It's not because they tried to waste my time to make me think I got a good deal, even though I didn't have a fun time while playing it. The gravity in this game going up hills is way too strong. That feels like that would have been an easy tweak too. That at no point does this feel like I could accidentally be going uphill with a boost on and even get a small jump of a foot or two. Geez, it really feels like there might be only two places where we turn in cars. So, does that vehicle robbery count towards this area? I don't believe it does. So, we just went one direction and then turned around and came back the exact same area. We're back in Auburn. Nearly got ran over. Well, over here we go. This says Metro, which makes me think, hey, there's a whole underground metro station. Where am I? Like, seriously, where am I? Am I still in Auburn? Yeah, we're still in Auburn. There's just this underground metro station that I never found. The game should have totally made me find this. Should have totally made me use the metro at some point, and it totally didn't. And this took me out where I came from. Alright.
Hope this is the right street.
Is that something that we're gonna have to break his Rex? I think it is. Is there something else? If I stand here, I can jump over that. Again, a combination. Before we do this car thing, let's double check and make sure that there's nothing else in this area, because if this is the last thing we need to do, then we can leave it at Auburn with it being 100%ed, although I kind of know that it isn't the last thing we need to do, because we still have the plant the flag mission and the silver mission to do. The silver statue, so let's leave that alone for a moment. And what we're looking for is a way to get up to the tops of the cranes. I really don't know how I'm gonna get there. This is easy enough to do. There's a teleporter over there. There also are some Rex graffiti statues or something. I have not seen any of them. So there's an achievement though that mentions them. So I might be in a weird position there where I have to figure out how to accomplish that part. That's gonna get me over there. Is there a reason why I'd want to get over there? There's nothing over there. I want to get over there. Sorta. Does look like there's another opportunity down that way. Glide. Remember, we've gotten everything on this bridge, so we're safe, generally speaking. This would be so much nicer if this was a rocket glide. Come on, work. First time work. Now there's a hole. I guess that isn't actually a hole. So, guess we would have been safe. I'm gonna go into rocket mode though, because I feel like there are several holes here. Can I just walk? Is that a flat surface, or is that, or can you actually fall through the middle of the crane? Apparently it's a flat surface. That really doesn't look like a flat surface, but they've programmed it to be a flat surface. I didn't recall that there was 2 more super bricks to be collected. This will be easy enough to do, I guess. As long as we can just walk on this. Just want to be particularly careful. Those grates really get see-through. So this district is conquered. That leaves 7 remaining to be conquered. Alright. So now that means, if I'm reading this right, the only thing left is the vehicle mission. We know where that is, so this is just jump down and see if we can, as quickly as possibly, without summoning a vehicle get to where we need to go.
This
Or
is an emergency.
we'll just take this vehicle.
Oh no! Yowzers!
Make sure that's not in the way too much. Alright, one more race. Going the wrong direction. Guess it recalculated. Now, some LEGO games give you regenerating hearts. In this one, we're not getting that, at least not in the vehicles. So, the fact that I have the car half damaged already is potentially a frustration point because it means that it might drive a little worse. This car in particular seems to be something that's not designed correctly because the wheel on the left is definitely a different size than the wheel on the right. Now here's the problem, there's a decent chance that I will end up back in Auburn doing a car theft mission again. There's something weird about the wheel size. It seems like the one on the right is shrinking and then getting bigger just over time. So it seems like it's almost an animation error or a attempt to depict pressure on the wheels based on how I'm turning. And so you don't get any kind of score or anything from that. So I don't know why those are silver and you can't blow them up. Sorry, that puts us in this area, and there's, I don't think, we could go over here to this disguise booth while we're very close to it, might as well. Like right now we are at 62.9%. If we come over here and then just see what's new to unlock, we have Ellie Phillips. I'd like to play as Ellie. We have Ezra Baker, who just looks like a generic police guy. We have Rodney Baxter, who he was a character in the headquarters. Casey, I don't recall seeing a character named Casey in the game. Horace Cohn, not a character I recall seeing. Maybe these are characters in the DS prequel game. We still have a decent amount of characters to unlock, though. We can't ever get away from playing as Rex, but we've got several criminals. In fact, we might be, let's see, guess we could play as Rex Bearchest. Vinny Clown, which I think also is a reference to my cousin Vinny. Yeah, it would be really weird if it turned out that the reason why this game exists is because Warner Brothers, who I guess might own the rights to My Cousin Vinny and several of the other movies that are referenced in this game, decided that they needed there to be LEGO references. It really doesn't make a lot of sense, but none of it really does. And see, the problem with this, I don't think Gemma Jones played any role in the story. Yeah, I guess we'll try and play as the alien. We've only unlocked one farmer. Seems like maybe, just maybe, you could play with all female characters if you wanted to at the end, once you've unlocked everything. But odds are no. So look at the difference between some of these construction people too. It's like they're in the same orange outfit. This guy has a beard. This guy has stubble. This guy has a slightly different outfit and a goatee. This is in the same outfit, and this guy's clean, has the goatee. This guy has a different hairpiece, but it's the same outfit. Little variations here, which, frankly, would just be easier if they'd gone through the whole system and just said, you get a named character that you can play as, and you get a custom character that you can play as, and you can just customize the pieces. Violet de Berg, showing a bit more cleavage than most LEGO things would show, or I guess maybe the blouse is not supposed to be implied to be see-through. I guess that would be general idea. Let's see. You could also play as Crash Test Dummy or a different ninja or Robin Hood, which I don't know why they call him Forest Man. A, I'm pretty sure Warner Bros. Probably has the rights to a Robin Hood movie. And B, I'm almost 100% certain that the name Robin Hood is public domain. There's a hula dancer. And Special 2. We got a hockey player, which that outfit's pretty awful. It needs a logo on it. A street skater. It would be kind of true to life if this game, Graduate, I haven't seen that in the game at all, or this guy, come to think of it, all these characters are just being thrown in. I think we did see the crazy scientist in the museum. Yeah. It would be true to life though if you playing as a police officer spent several missions chasing skaters around, and if they had like spray paint bottles, then you would have a reasonable justification for it too. Paul Flanagan, don't know who that is. Richard Thomas. It almost feels like these are characters these are people that worked on the game, and like everybody got their own minifig character. Like, that's the only thing that even starts to make a little bit of sense. Did we go all the way through? There you go. So that unlocked a bunch of things that bumped us up to 68.7%, which I think was about 7% of an increase in this area. I'm fairly certain that there's still more things to do, but we could, I guess, check. There's an ATM to get, and a police search and a car to be stolen, and actually that's kind of it. We're actually very, very close to having everything done. So let's just, well, this already is playing differently, so that's a problem. Having to do flips every time I need to hover, that's not something I want. Let's see how the other characters play. Everybody else seems like they're fine. It's just the alien that needs to go. So we have to come back to the disguise booth because we can't change this any other way. And let's see how this works. Alright, that's normal. Well, I do see things that direction. So should I go that direction? Yeah. I don't think it makes sense to break the flow of progress. If we end up leaving areas 99% done, that's better than wandering around areas and potentially taking an hour to find that one thing. And we still have the added complication of the car thief mission, so at any one point you might end up back in an area. Where's the... This is the guy. Yeah, him being blue is gonna be confusing. Alright. Next, you see all kinds of things. We've definitely done some stuff in this area, but it was kind of iffy, to say the least. Oh, screwed that up. Three shots are required for all three of these things. Which is just terrible design, frankly. And all that did is make a super brick appear. Man, I didn't feel like I was that off. 4 of 9.
How's things?
This is so slow. And you could have so easily fixed this. Just have it always be that you do the yellow line and that's it. You don't have to do all 3 of them. Even in a real world equivalency, you don't ever I've never seen a setup where at a carnival that you're supposed to shoot 3 shots from 3 different baskets next to each other. That's pretty crazy. It'd be inefficient and a waste of time. So, does this really boil down to TT Fusion, the creators of this game, don't even know how carnival basketball challenges go? That'd be weird, certainly. If it really was a case of the programmers being so out of touch with normal reality things. There's the ATM too. So I need to come and collect this. Then I need to run back and hit this. And then I guess I'm gonna run a bit of a risk here. I'm gonna hop on this pig, and then can I hop off? Yes, I can. Good, that's good to know. And while we're doing this, we have to listen to the country music. It's not bad. It's not terrible banjo music. But the repetition kind of sucks on it. Just hearing the same little snippet over and over again instead of hearing a full song that plays all the way through. You could certainly have done worse. You could have had the pig squealing and crying and just generally making awful sounds. Yep. Got a couple of things over this direction, so let's go figure out what that is. A crane game. That's kind of cool. I don't think I've seen that gag done too many times. Jeez, things are just all over the place though. Go collect your reward here, go collect your reward there. It's definitely trying to make me run around. I got something else for that. Another character. So, if we're approaching 70% done of the game, Doesn't quite bode as well as I would like it to, frankly. It does make me think that, well, if the game wasn't lagging, it'd be easier to do these things. Just gotta be really careful now. Don't want to reset. Notice that there's also a timer on that, so you can't just take your time and aim, or maybe you can. Maybe it doesn't matter enough in the long run. But I also am not given any indication that if you did take your time and aim, it would slow down, which it probably should for a kid's game. Yeah, it definitely feels like we might have another 10 hours of gameplay in here.
He looks like he landed way
Up this general direction. Right. That puts me, I'm slightly too tall or too short for that. And this doesn't do anything. So this has got to do something. Yep. Lego car ads. There's definitely some game concepts here that don't really sync up with a Lego game. Okay. Over there we have a brick. Over here we have something, so this is where we should go, because that's more in the corner. And that would be the logical way to play this, is to make special effort to get things that are in the corners, and then things in the middle of the islands would definitely be a lot easier.
Oh yeah, I like potato chips.
There's nothing more over here. So our next thing is to either go here or again in the corner. Where's the fire person? So here's an example of why they pull out the white hat, because not all the fire people are wearing their own hat. I don't know at what point Lego started having lady hair pieces, but that I assume that did end what was going on before that point, in which every minifig had a stud on top of their head and could wear a hat if they wanted to. They broke what they called the system a little bit there, or at least bent the rules on the system to introduce the new hair pieces. But that was totally the right move. Like, the large variety of hair pieces that we have now for minifigs would be sorely missed if they disappeared. Dr. Jones, as in Indiana Jones, or just a different Dr. Jones.
What's up?
Interesting, we're also getting a musical notes being played.
Let's shake it.
Yeah, I'm just gonna keep following following wherever I'm supposed to be going. Alright. Can I jump on this? Get a little bit of height. Yes, I can. Next piece is way up there.
Hello.
And I think that's when we're gonna start running into actually having to figure out how to get places. Boy, that's slow. As a slow rotating door. Speed it up. So it looks to me like what's going on here is we're gonna have to pull up to the top of several areas. Get back there, yeah. So this is almost certainly a full free run section with several things to collect.
I should spend more time in the countryside.
Alright. And yeah, this is it, but I also want to be careful because what could happen is I could accidentally end up missing something and then having to run through this multiple times more. Interesting, I'm just walking on air. Let's just double check. Was there anything over there? I don't think there was. And then this, and then that, and then this, and then that. Is there anything else? Well, I totally screwed that up. If there is supposed to be a race there, I'm not seeing the collectible that would start that race. So maybe I already collected it a long time ago? That's possible. Alright, where we stand now, there's nothing in the edges, so should make an effort to come back and get this. And I guess I've already done these. I feel like I flew right through that twice. Get on the edge here.
What's shaking?
There we go. While it's saving, we have what seems to be just one thing right here amongst the micro stuttering and lagging. There's an ATM over there too. Alright. So if I need to get to the top of that star, how would I get there? Yeah. It seems like it probably has something to do with the building to the side. So, yeah, I'm thinking we get up here to the top of that building, and then we float down from that point. And this game just feels like it's getting laggier and laggier. Which would be, like, if this was getting really significantly worse, then I would kind of buy into the idea that this was some kind of memory leak as we collected more things in some weird way, because we've removed more more things. Let's see. I'm going the wrong way, I think. I think I probably missed the clock over there, did I? Nope. Well, I'm gonna go ahead and fail that just intentionally. Looks like there might be something that way. And some more things that way. Let's start over fresh. So the trick here is, because this gives you a much bigger bounce, you want it to... These studs didn't respawn, interesting. You want it to not be the flying guy. Come on. Again, I'm gonna guess that these paths don't matter. There we go. There we go. Got it. Now, is this going to put me at the top or the bottom of the free run? It puts me at the top. I mean the bottom. Like the place I didn't want to be. So I have to do this a second time. I'm really only doing this a second time just to be certain. Because I could be totally wrong about what needs to be done. Alright. So from our perch, we see there's one super brick that either we get that way or we get with a helicopter, and I don't think you're supposed to collect anything with helicopters. The weirdness, though, is the fact that the only way to go is this way. And we did this already. Yeah, so that's not right. Alright, meanwhile, could I just... do this. I'm fairly certain this is not the intended way. I don't think that's gonna work. So then we need to decide where the next location is. It's just in general that direction, I guess. Yeah, I feel like we've kind of gotten everything else. Sorta. Kinda. This is just like that one thing. So we've got to get to the top of this building, which seems like I've figured that out. Maybe. Is this a fireman building? It would be really close to the other fireman building. Camera's being awkward. There's a vehicle theft mission. There's a red brick, or super brick. There's another super brick. We're definitely just slowly making progress. Is there no way higher on this building? Doesn't seem like it. Seems like it's just these four corners and that's it. So I'm not sure if we're in one area or another area. Quentin's bookshop. Like, all of these buildings have names to them. They all have identities. Why wasn't there a robbery or a false alarm? You know, I could see playing as a police officer. There's an alarm going off at Quentin's bookshop. Go check bookshop. Go check it out. And then you arrive, and then you go, it's nothing. Or you arrive and there's a criminal there, and you chase the criminal and arrest him. That's kind of what L.A. Noire did, and seems like they were at least a little bit inspired by L.A. Noire in the development of this game. Gonna have to run around quite a bit. Is this a statue I've visited?
Hey.
I want to make sure I've visited all the statues because there is an achievement for visiting all the statues. But I don't know what particularly involves visiting a statue.
Hey, you.
Whether it's just walking near a statue or whether there's something more complicated to it than that. Jesus. This whole building is gonna... Unless I can kind of cheat this to get up to that. This was this Club 62. Or alright, so that doesn't get me up there. And we were trying to reach a higher place. which guess starts all the way down here. And by this distance, there's a mime, there's a clue, let's see what this clue is. I want to jump down because there's a small chance it's something I just need to paint. It is something I just need to paint. Can I do this? No. So now we've got a character token in front of the main bank, which is not where we are. Let's see if we can do one more thing, and then I think we'll call it a night. Still doesn't get me to where I wanted to be, so there must be some other area, some other way to get back to those to that stuff. As a dinosaur guy. Yeah, we left some things over in that general direction. We are in downtown, and looking at downtown, there's a flower to plant, the car to rescue and car to steal. There's the capture the district, get to a high place mission, and then there is a race mission. But then that is kind of it. Over here we have a car stealing mission and a drill thrill mission, and I think that is it. So we've made like major progress in these lower areas. This area here has just 3 things to do, I think. The only thing is the fast travel sucks. Still, we still haven't unlocked the fast travel here. I don't think we can fast travel here, or here. As for the bridge, we're good. This area still has a ton of stuff because we haven't done anything with that. This area still has a ton of stuff because we haven't done anything with that. This area should be 100% done. So that limits us quite nicely, because this section of Cherry Tree Hills is squished between a 100% bridge and a 100% Auburn, so running around this area and finding everything won't be difficult. The islands, I think, are all 100%ed, so as long as we keep finding things, we'll stay in this general area. But I really need to pull up towards this area, and these areas, because those are definitely the things that we are missing the most of. Apparently this is a statue that we could find, one of the statues, and then there is also something here that can be found. Interesting. We have a couple of things that are getting marked on the map that either we scanned and didn't do anything with, or the map is becoming more generous with us. Overall, we are at 69.2% done. We have 184 of 305 character tokens, and it seems like when we do about a third of anything in the overworld, we unlock a new character. We have 80 out of 120 vehicles, so we're kind of at a slightly faster pace unlocking vehicles. Of course, we won't really use any of those vehicles ever. We're at 296 gold bricks of 450. Still feels like there's kind of a lack of progress there. Really would have been nice if we were closer to 350. Anyways, that's going to be it to this recording. As always, I ask you to like, share, subscribe, comment, and watch every second of my videos. If you want a friend or follow me on any social media sites, there's a whole bunch of links down below in the description box. And if you want to support me even further, there's a link to Patreon, or you can friend me on Steam and gift me a game off my wishlist. Thank you for watching. Have a good evening.